Welcome everybody to the Growing Racing League. This is the GT3 Sprint Championship, Season 16, Round 6? Round 5. Round 5, sorry. Round 5 here at Algarve, otherwise known as Portimao. And it's going to be an exciting one. A lot of drivers are really close together in terms of their best laps as they've shown through. John Javecki leading us with that 141. And we're going to see the 141s for not that many drivers, though. Only 7 drivers were in the 141s. Then it goes Peter Flanner at P8 in the 142s. And it stays in the 142s from P8 to P24. And then after 24, Tyler Kern leads it in P25 with a 143.007. And the 143s stick from Tyler Kern P25 all the way down to P38 with Joshua Justice and just at the top end of the 143s. And then it goes to the 144s for the rest of the drivers after that. There's 43 drivers that are on the grid, and 42 have set laps. That said, we have the rankings as followed. After the whole Le Mans blip, has those points in the sheet were kind of messing up the real order of where drivers were at structurally. If a driver only had a couple races, they weren't penalized because their drop week was just 0 points. So it changed a little bit, but not for the top 3 drivers in the pro class. Austin J. McGill still leads in P1 over Peter Flanner, who's in second, and Gage Hines, who's in third. They're all in the thousands of points spread. And Jeff Koffold in the Pro-Am leads. There is, thank you CX SMLC for reminding me that my headphones are not accurately set there. Thanks, appreciate that. It's better to get it out of the way before I get scared later when it's coming out of nowhere. And less attentive, I guess. Jeff Koffold, yeah, in first with 1,200 points over Elliot Burton, who's got 1,000 points. That's including the drop week as it is. Elliot Burton in second. Brandon G. Burns is in third. Followed by the AM class of Jason Daly, who is leading with 1,200 points in P1. Seth Hansen is in second. Forrest Holland is in third. Then going over to the rookie class, make no mistake, Ryan Otis is leading with 1,300 points, and he's actually leading double what the next driver is in terms of points. Joshua D is in second. Kevin R. Mallard is in third. And that rounds out the top 3 of each division as it is. Austin Squared Racing is leading overall. As you can imagine, Austin J. McGill and Jason Daly are both leading their own classes. So, of course, they're going to be leading the team championship as it is. Valhalla is in second with Gage Hines and Jeff Koffold. Draft Punt Gold of Elliot Burton and Peter Flanner in third. 499 Racing of Kevin Millard and Ryan Otis in fourth. Thunder Thighs Racing of Dylan Thomas in Jacob Simmons in fifth. Savage Racing of Aiden Gwertz and Richard Swiderski in sixth. Team Juice, Joshua Jablonski and Seth Hansen in 7. Mid-Pack Mafia Motorsports of Angel Bonello Soto and Forrest Holland in 8. No longer radio controlled. Marshall Scary and Zach Peterson in 9th. Bluth Company Racing of Chris Lambeth and Eric Koonsman in 10th. Little Lugnuts of Charles Whedon and Christopher Chitterling in 11th. Rockstar Energy Racing of Darius Timms and Drew Stiles in 12th. Texas Racing Team of Charlie Bass and Nolan Todd in 13th. Caffeine Global Motorsports of Craig Carroll, Stephen McAllister in 14th. Narwhal Racing Team of Joshua Grosso and Noah Hodgkinson in 15th. And G-Spec Racing of Colin Giddings in 16. I don't think I've seen Colin in a while. He was there for the first race. Now we have 44 drivers as Austin McGill has entered but not set a time on the board. Now to go over the class differences right now. This is practice, 5 minutes 50 seconds left in practice. And we're looking at Dylan Thomas. He's 4th in the championship. And right now he is 7th in the Pro-Am class. Max Poe, who is second in the overall right now. You can see him just behind John Javecki. He's the leading Pro-Am driver at the moment. And Max Poe, well, this will be his first race of this season because he has been absent. So points on the board for him, finishing first, but yeah, he's going to be stacked up in the middle of the pro-am. So we have 11 entries for the pro-am. Sorry, 11 entries for the pro series, 12 entries for the pro-am. So I guess it's going to be 13 now that Max Poe is going to be on the sheet. And we have 24 entries in the AM class and over 30 entries for the rookie class. Now, not all of these drivers are still with us. Show up for a couple races, maybe one or two, maybe even three, but it just depends. Like if you look at the bottom three in the pros, they've only showed up to one race each, with one exception being Tyler Sage Anderson. That said, Ryan Otis. This is actually pretty interesting one. P1, 2, and 3 are all class leaders. John Javecki leads the pros. Max Poe leads the pro-ams. Ryan Otis leads the rookies. And then Aiden Gwertz, who is in 12th position on the bracket right now, splitting a couple pro-ams. He's in 12th, but first is in class. Jake Daly is in P16. Further back, Seth Hansen is in P17, a little bit further back. And so he's got a little bit of a buffer there. If this was to be a qualifying session, Aiden would be in a good spot to keep where his momentum is. Not similar for Max Poe, though. Max Poe in the Pro-Ams is got Ryan Otis splitting him and Jeff Koffold, who is in the Pro-Am as well. He's in 4th on the overall standings at the moment. And then Marshall Scar, who's in 7th, would be 3rd in the Pro-Ams. John Javecki has a bigger gap. He's got P1 through P5. So P5 is Jacob Simmons. P6 is Gage Hines. Those two drivers are pros that have been split by 2 Pro-Ams and a rookie. And not to leave out the rookies, Ryan Otis, who's P3, has the next available driver of a rookie, Max Miranda. Sorry, I was just going to say Randon. Anyway, I said it wrong my first attempt. I've never seen this person before. They are here, though. Welcome to the league. And there's Kyle Strauss, a little bit of a spin there. He's P14, 2nd in the rookie class. Charlie Bass is in 21st in the overall, but he's 3rd in the rookies. And just behind him is Kurt Moss, who's in P22, also in the rookie class. And with that, Noob Gamer _ PT, thank you for the follow. That was, I don't know if there was another thing. Going Jeff, and then, yeah, appreciate the follow. Definitely just rings true in the ears there. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. The sheets have all been tallied. Rankings are a lot more close together now. It's going to be a true battle for the each top 3 in class. Although I will say, in the Pro-Ams, there's only 200 points separating those drivers at the moment, so that swing could be big. If Jeff has a bad race, it could swing further in the favor of Elliot Burton and Brandon G. Burns. The same could be said with Austin McGill. He still has to continue to finish strong. Gage Hines has 1,154 points. That's not far behind his 1,215 points. And then Peter Flander in the middle, but has a different difference of a drop week that is a little bit actually less significant. It looks like that one might be the... you know, I guess we won't know until we know it on that final round. How things shape up there. A little bit of a spin there for Kyle Curtis. Been a lot of spins. Portimao, or you know, if you want to call it Algarve. I don't like calling it that. But the circuit of Portimao is a great one. It's got a lot of ups and downs. That said, we'll take a look at one of those rookies who's leading the rookies and take a look at these ups and downs. Be the final corner, and he's still going to practice. Got 29 seconds left, might as well. I mean, let's see what he can do. that's over. Alright, well. Just to cleanly catch that back in full, Trey Mistack giving us a little bit of a show. And we are back. For those just tuning in, welcome. This is the GT3 Sprint Championship Season 16, Round 5, here at Portimao. Or Algarve. Algarve? It's in Portugal. They don't even speak a good language. I guess Brazil speaks it. Not all that bad. Anyway, we're on an outlap here with Jeff Koffel, who's leading us over John Javecki. This is quite similar to how the practice was shaping up. You have Jeff, John, Gage, all in the top 5. These drivers are extremely quick, and they're trying to take that place on track through qualifying to make sure that they're not in the middle with everyone else. That said, we're about to go through the penultimate corner and see this Portugal for the win. Yeah, Portugal for the win. I think we have any Portuguese drivers. Whoa! I don't know if that... Oh, okay. We're gonna get one, okay. So, I think Jake Daly will be our first series driver. Everyone else is heating up temps right now. And Jake's still, trying to... Where's Mark Foley? Fark Moley. I don't think Mark is here, to be honest with you. I didn't see him in practice. So, these drivers all opted to gain more tire temp. So that's not going to be a lap. This isn't going to be a push lap for them. I mean, they'll put them on the board, but they're not really going for it here. I know Jake Daly is, because he didn't try to do more warm-up through the start straight when they went on it. Jake Daly is in the AM class, so maybe doesn't maybe just didn't need the extra outlap to get tires up to speed here, because he's already going to give what he can give, and it may not be the same scenario as the pros, and even the Pro-Am of Jeff Koffel, who was a former pro. He just got demoted. And if, you know, Jeff, if he does show up, I'll try to take a look, but I truly don't think I saw his name anywhere during practice, and briefly scrolling, I don't see him. Jeff will get that 144, but it'll quickly be taken over. And we'll see what Jake Daly does. He did a 144-2. Ryan Otis across the line with a 142. Seth Hansen in there with 143s. Steve in the top 15. No time on the board for him just yet. Steve is out there, and he's got a ways to go before he gets something on the board. We only have up to P13. John Javecki, you can see here, going on board with John Javecki, because he's one of those drivers like him and Jeff and Gage. You can see the two ahead of him. These three were the first to go out, first over the line to do a hot lap, and they opted to not do a hot lap. They opted to warm their tires, and what they ended up doing was a relative lap to what we were seeing in the bottom of the P38s, P40s. Like, that was the range of what their first qualifying time was. The board's going to constantly be updating with new drivers that are really pushing the limits here. You should see at least a hand, not one hand of drivers in the 141s. Everyone else will be in the 142s and the 143s, with drivers maybe P35 onward in the 144s, possibly. Lets off a little bit, but right back on power. And I think this might be a really good lap. John Javecki was our leader in practice. Can he put us back in the lead here with Gage Heinz getting the 141s? John Javecki also in the 142.3. Ryan Otis in the 141s. So now we have two drivers in the 141s. It was provisionally, it looked like Jeff had a 141, but that was Gage's 141. Jeff is now third, with John Javecki in fourth, Jacob Simmons in fifth, Peter Flanner crossed the line into sixth. A little bit of a kerfluffle there as Rodrigo Theory was getting out of the way of a Draft Punk's sister teammate. And now you have Braden Daniels. Oof, that looks like a proper slowdown. I don't know if this is going to be a good push lap. I might have to go not bad there. All right. Taking a look here. Max Miranda? I think that's right. He's close. He is P5 in the overall. Aiden Gwertz, never said his name right, but he's P4. This is the leading AM class driver in the 142.040. That is mega. The next the next AM class driver who just crossed the line is Adam Tingle in P8. This is not going to be where everyone shapes up because we know eventually the AM class driver will be in the teens, the low teens. Joshua Jablonski across the line into P2. That's the fastest pro driver as Gage Heinz is second, or now is in third, and Austin McGill is in fourth. But let there be a split, and that's a Pro-Am split as Jeff Koffold has just gone into fourth. Gage Heinz improves into second over Joshua Jablonski. John Javecki on an improvement into fifth. Austin McGill in sixth. Aiden is still in seventh with Seth Hansen, another AM class driver, in eighth, but second in class. Marshall Scary is 10th right now. He's second in class for the Pro-Ams. Max Miranda, who's in ninth, is in second for the rookies. Austin McGill just improved into third. And Charlie Bass, who's down into 17th with a 142.6. He is the third driver in the rookie class. P3 for him at the moment. Tyler Kern improves. Joshua D improves. He now goes into 20th. Richard Swederski, who is just behind, also improved into 25th position. Kyle Strauss, qualifying's been kind of tough for him, but he is out there on his second lap. Let's see if he can muster up a time on the board. Zach Peterson goes into 23rd with his time. Steve McAllister improves with a 144.5 into 33rd. Kurt Moss across the line at one point. He's on a new one. This might be his first flyer. It says he's done 3. But that pit time means he went to the pit and came back out. Trey Mistack's definitely not going to give us a time on the board, but he's out there practicing. Darius Timms improves into 32nd. And John Javecki improves to P4 with that time on the board, as Jake Daly also improves into 10th. And no real shakeups just yet. Braden Daniels does actually improve pretty significantly. He's now P8. Only one spot behind Jeff Koffold, who is the leading Pro-Am class driver, who's in P6. We have a parked car. Max Miranda is letting everyone by. He's on an outlap. That's going to be one train. Oh, he's back in the pits. Joshua D improves into 19th. Richard Swedesky improves into 22nd. And Felipe B. Nunez, who's P20, he has already gone into the pit lane, but he's 20th at the moment. Kurt Moss improved into 22nd. Brandon Burns into 12th with his time on the board. He's now 4th in class. Braden Daniels is ahead of him. And actually split a couple things. Chris Chitterling went into P8 over Braden Daniels, so that's Jeff. So it's 7, 8, and 9 on the overall, but 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in class for the Pro-Ams. They're all neatly put together. Aiden Gwertz was P2 for a little bit, but now he's P3. Joshua Jablonski just split him. We have class leaders of the rookie class leading first. Second is Joshua Jablonski in the pro class. Third is an AM class driver, Aiden Gwertz. Now he's fourth, as John Javecki has just crossed the line and taken that spot from him. It was, for a little bit, it was leader, leader, leader. And Jeff is the only one missing out on that one. He is in seventh at the moment with a 141.8. The time to beat is a 141.133. And Jacob Simmons gets with a 141.433. And now he leads the pros provisionally. Matt Benson crossed the line with a 142.8. As improved. I said there was going to only be a handful, but looking at this right here, Braden Daniels, he's in 11th. He's the last of the drivers in the 141s. In practice, there was only 7, but in qualifying, we get a different result. 11 drivers in the 141s. Max Miranda in P12 keeps the 142s from 12th to 27 of Zach Peterson, who's out there on an improved lap into 20th. That now gets dubbed for Tyler Kern, who's in P27. Then Joshua Justice in P28 in the 143s. And then the 143s continue from P28 to P35, with every other driver just in the 144s behind. So not a lot of people that are going to be in that like lag state there. So we'll see what happens at the back end of the grid as this race continues. But at the moment, it's still Ryan Otis. Jeff Koffold improves into 5th with his time across the line. 2 minutes 39 seconds left to go. Not an improved lap for Ryan Otis. And he's got Austin McGill just ahead of him. And he's catching, so this could be quite a significant margin here for Toe. Oof. A lot of a slip up there. I think that one's not going to be... And Austin let him by. Probably one of those, I don't want to help my competitor get an improved lap down the straight there. Joshua D across the line. P2 in the rookie class. P11 overall at the moment. Max Miranda is just behind in P13. He's 3rd in the rookies. Braden Daniels separates those two. It's quite the margin for the rookies. P1 to P11. Then you have Aiden Gwertz in the... Whoa. It is Chris Chitterling. Oh, that's an odd one. Oh. Our first edition of the Broken Wing Racing League in tonight's session is dubbed for Chris Chitterling. And he's just chilling in the corner. Be thinking, how did that happen? Oh. Big Daly got a black flag. Wonder what he did. Still got a few drivers that are trying to improve here. Look and see if there's a driver crossing the line. Rodrigo Theory is P15. Peter Flanner improves into P9 over Chris Chitterling. Rodrigo Theory across the line. That last one was a 146.1. So, oof. And that is going to be probably the end of qualifying for Rodrigo. And as well for those drivers. Let's see him. Joshua D across the line. He can go again, so can Tyler Kern. We'll see if they end up doing that. It looks like they are. And take a look here at who's out there. Joshua Jablonski, who's 3rd right now. Will not be Oh. I didn't realize you could cut it that much. No improvement over the line. Ryan Otis is in. Darius Tim's in. Oh, I thought he was out there. He is out there. What the heck? Who did I click on? I clicked on him. That was odd. He improves with P34. Peter Flanner across the line. P6. Fast lap for him, but no improvement on that. Unfortunate. Tyler Kern, or a few remaining drivers. No improvement. And improves his time, but not his position. One last driver, Joshua Jablonski. Just taking a lap in. Yeah, that wasn't going to count for anything. And there you have it. We have a few drivers that have not been stated, but I will those out. The grid as follows, which will change slightly for some. Ryan Otis, P1, Jacob Simmons, P2, Joshua Jablonski, P3, John Javecki, P4, Jeff Koffel, P5, Peter Flanner, P6, Aiden Gwartz, P7, Gage Hines, P8, Brandon Burns, P9, Austin McGill, P10, Chris Schitterling, P11, Joshua D, P12, Braden Daniels, P13, Max Miranda, and P14, Seth Hansen, P15, Rodrigo Theory, 16, Jake Daly, P17, Charlie Bass, P18, Marshall Scary, 19, Adam Tingle, 20, Richard Sweaterski, 21, Zach Peterson, 22, Dylan Thomas, 23, Matt Benson, 24, Kurt Moss, 25, Eric Kunzman, 26, Craig Reese, 27, Tyler Kern, 28, Felipe B. Nunez, and 29, Stuart Lucio, and 30, Tom Smith, 31, Joshua Justice, 32, Forrest Holland, 33, Darius Sims, 34, Jackson Sherlock, and 35, Andrew Frank, 36, Kyle Curtis, 37, Steve McAllister, 38, Craig Carroll, 39, Kyle Strauss, 40, and actually, we'll pop back and make sure. Kyle Strauss is 40. Trey Mistak, 41, Kevin Millard in 42, Max Poe, 43, and Nolan Todd, 44. Those last couple drivers did not set times. I know one of them will show up on the board at some point. So we'll have to take a look and see if those last four end up showing up. Kyle Strauss is the last of those drivers. Trey Mistak more than likely will be here. Nolan Todd did pop up on the board there, so we got another rookie that's out there. Trey Mistak has now shown up. I'm sure Kevin will also be here. Max Poe. Oh, Trey Mistak just blipped away for me, so take a look at that one. So, last of the drivers. Going down the order here, let's see if new liveries from some of these drivers. And it looks like almost everybody has decals. Oh, I spoke too soon. There was I think it was Felipe B. Nunez, the only one. You're looking at that. It looks like almost everybody on the grid has sim motion. Oh, wait. There is one. And you can see him. Maybe you can't. Rear chase. There it is. It's one of the Valhalla drivers, a Matt Benson. He's been in the league a long time. Okay, I think there's only two drivers without the goods. I mean, all things considered, next race our guys are going to start from the pits with Trey and yeah. I think that might be it. Well, Trey did. He's in the pit lane at the moment. Nolan Todd. So we didn't get Kevin Millard and Max Poe. Ryan Otis's teammate is Kevin. Max Poe, Pax Oceani was in practice, but just not here. I mean, I think that's kind of impressive. You think about this, there's 44 drivers on the grid. And, well, I didn't take a look here at Nolan Todd. Oh my gosh, he has it as well. So we only have a rookie and an AM class driver who do not have the decals on their liveries. Thanks, Cat Stack, for the 15-month resub. Appreciate you trying to scare me on that one. Starting from the pits, that's a new strategy for Trey Mestak. I'm sure he's I honestly think that was a technical difficulty because he was there and then he just went straight into the pits. Flipped into the pits. This is kind of cool. There was discussion about the decals, and there you have it. Decals are added. All the rookies are complying. -1. And then you have Matt Benson, which I don't even fault him. He's in the Valhalla team. I think it took him 4 seasons to figure out that he could put decals on. So that's just the team orientation. Although I can't make fun of him too much because Jeff has the correct ones on, and so does his teammate, H. Hines. Decal schmingos. Yeah. Oh, and there's another one. I forgot. Austin McGill's out there as well. He's got the decals. So, no longer be making fun of Valhalla Motorsport. This is going to be extremely interesting. Ryan Otis is a rookie leading right now in P1 on qualifying. P2, 3, and 4 are all pros. Those orange placards, the accents you can see. And then Jeff, P5, he's the leader of the Pro-Am class. P7 of Aiden Gwertz is just behind him, leader of the AM class. All leaders in the top 10. It looks like it's finally going to go. Already a move there down the inside is John Javecki is going to go side by side with Jeff here. And I think it's going to come down to, look at Christopher Chitterling on the inside. And he's going to take this 3 wide and goes back to 2 wide. Gets up 1 position. Brandon Burns down 2. And now it's going to go side by side with Austin McGill as everyone else seems to be going cleanly through. Up further is Gage Hines trying to keep his position. He's up 1 right now, and there's a spin. Oh no, there's a spin. That is Peter Flanner down the order. He's back out there, and others have made up positions. Adam Tingle on the outside here. He's got Dylan Thomas on the inside, and they're going to go side by side. One's up 3, one's up 1. Ooh. And it looked like they kind of banged doors there, side by side. And whoa, we got a spin of Craig Reese. And he's not doing so well. Back in it, though. Kind of a rough one. Craig Reese has massive damage. Meatballed. He's fully meatballed. Back up at the top in P8, Austin McGill has 2 spots gained. He's pressuring Aiden Gwertz here, who's still 7th. Whoa, there's a slip up, and that slip up's going to cost him as Chris Chitterling goes on through. Austin McGill loses both those spots that he gained off the start off just 1 moment, exiting turn 14. And Max Miranda has Seth Hansen going left, right, and center, and they're going to go side by side. Well, he's got it ahead. He's going to dip in front of him here. He's getting close. Crucially, he keeps it through. Brandon Burns holding his own against Austin McGill, keeping his spot where he qualified at the moment. Peter Flanner making his way back through the order here, and he's got Zach Peterson was on his inside, and now has gone cleanly through. That's now that's 19 positions to gain back. He's gonna chip away at these all race. He's got the pace, be at the front, and just had a moment out of turn 5. Matt Benson, P23 for him. He's up 1. Charlie Bass down 5, might be down 6, might be down 7. And there goes Eric Koonsman making up a spot as well. It's only 6 loss for him, actually. Talk about things gained here. Oof. A little bit of a shake-up there with Jake Daly. The penultimate corner on the exit of it. Not ideal, and it's a very wide line. Jesus. Anders Derps, thank you for the follow. Oh, and it looks like Marshall Scari's going to be able to get on through. So we'll go to the straight. We actually have a 4-way battle here, as Adam Tingle is now joining in, trying to overtake Richard Swederski, who's on the outside in Savage Racing. And it's going to still hold on for Jake Daly for the moment, but Richard Swederski holding off the defense. And here through goes Marshall Scari, and he takes that spot away. Jake Daly, Dylan Thomas is just spun. That's going to be a big one. He's going to go tumbling down the order. Richard Swederski still holding ahead of Adam Tingle, but this was a 4-way battle, and they just went off, and now that's going to cost him. Adam Tingle moves on through and takes the position for P18. Further back, you have Forrest Holland. He's up 6. Dylan Thomas now down 3, so the spin's not totally a loss. Is Andrew Frank trying to make a move here? Whoa! Which one was that? Was that Felipe Nunez? I mean, he got pushed down the order on that one, but I think it was Stewart that also got pushed down. Take a look at that in the replay shortly, as we have drivers at the back of the field, all really close. Nolan Todd through, he goes. Kyle Strap. Oh, and actually, Nolan Todd was the backup one. Kyle Curtis is the one that moved through. It's 2. Let's take a look. There's Tim's up 6. Just past Tom Smith here. Or turn 5. Andrew Frank gonna make a move again. He was getting awfully close to Tom Smith on the last lap. Does not make the move there. Further up the order, Joshua D, 2nd in class for the rookies. It's 11th overall. Got Brandon Burns just ahead of him. Ooh. Frosty YDD, thank you for the follow. Where those things are very loud. Let's look at our biggest mover and shaker. It is briefly switch back here. How'd this work out? This is Matt Benson overtaking Andrew Frank. What is the requirements for this league? E-class? I rating above 800. Yeah, I think you just had a road uh, D class for the GT3 series. It's D class 800 plus I rating, I believe, is the and a safety rating. I think has to be above. I think 2.0 or something. Not a great steward to knowing all the information here, but if you click on the Discord link and you join the league, it will give you all the brief information on how to sign up and what the requirements are. They're not much different from series to series. There's a little bit of moment there for Stuart Lucio and Joshua Justice. Almost is getting tied up there. This is one of our closest groups at the moment. Joshua D is at the end of it. Austin McGill, not the leader, but it is going to be Chris Chitterling who's leading. He's in P8 with this little group that is forming a train. Is the skill gap big? Yes and no. I mean, you'll be facing the drivers that are in your skill gap. We have 42 drivers on the grid. Of these 42, we have 14 AM class drivers. What we classified as AM. After you finish 5 races, it looks like Austin McGill is giving a little bit of a flash to Chris Chitterling. I'm not sure why, but maybe he feels he's... I don't know. Flashy drivers, you never know. So we have 14 AM class drivers. We have 14 rookie drivers. So when you do join the league, you get classified as a rookie. And just to give you an idea of what the rookie class looks like, it's P1 is a rookie, all the way down to P41 is a rookie. That's in the overall. Right now in our AM class, we have a driver who's in the AM class that's P7 in the overall, Aiden Gortz, and his closest rival is P14 of Seth Hansen. And then you have AM class drivers down in P42. So most of the AM class are close together from P17 to P31. I'd say most of the rookies are together. They're from P32 to P41. Then you have the Pro-Am class, which is a little different, I will say. Max Miranda getting a little bit closer to Rodrigo Theory. He's been close most of this race, but I would say it's closing the gap. He's trying to find a move to make on Rodrigo, and he's just taking a different alternative line here into 14. It's not really panning out, but we'll see if this is kind of a move where he wants to make down the start straight. With the Pro-Ams, they're all over the place. They can be just as fast as the pros. They can be just as slow as AM class drivers. It really doesn't depend. I mean, that one is a lot of things more than anything. The Pro-Ams are the middle ground between the AM class and the pros, but the leading Pro-Am is in P4. The next one's in P8. The next one's in 10th, 12th, 15th, 16th, 26th. It's just a bit of a whiffle, if you want to call it that. And to be fair to Dylan Thomas here, he spun. That's why he's down where he's at. I mean, he had a massive spin early in the race. That's just going to happen. Kurt Moss just had a spin for himself. Nope, not a spin. A little bit of contact with Peter Flanner. Whoa! And there's Eric Koonsman, who gave Peter Flanner a little bit of a bump. And there you have it. Peter Flanner, not a mover, because he dropped down from the start of this race, but he's getting back some of his positions lost. He's now only down he's only down 15 when he was down 20 earlier on. Eric Koonsman battling it out here with Zach Peterson, and it looks like it's going to go to Zach Peterson for the moment, and it does. That is P23 for Zach Peterson. Kurt Moss just behind. How do you rank up from different classes, from like rookie to AM to pro? Is it GT3 only? We have other things going on. Austin McGill and Chris Chitterling are battling side by side. May not actually do anything for fruition, but maybe so. Down in the penultimate, and yeah, he's just gonna slot back in. We have IMSA. We have The Falcon series, which is every other Tuesday, that's GT4 and LMP3s. And this is the same. We have an endurance series that's also on Tuesdays. They alternate those, and that's IMSA. That's GT3s and GTPs. That's a multi-class grouping, and they're pretty popular. Both series are popular, the Falcon one and the IMSA one. Those are alternating ones because they're both technically endurance races. The Falcon one is 1 hour races, and the IMSA one is, I think, 90 minutes. Austin McGill making a dive down the inside line, and the switchback goes with Chris Chitterling taking it back, and they're going to go side by side, and they bang doors a little bit, but this one is still on and exciting. Through goes Austin McGill down the inside line, and they bang doors again, but Austin McGill makes the move. That's a Pro versus Pro-Am class driver, and it is not over. Chris Chitterling is going to try to make a move. He's getting squeezed, though, and he opens up the door because the next corner is a right-hander, and they're still battling. And it goes to Austin McGill for the moment. He's up 2 positions. Nope, they're going to go side by side again. He went wide. And Chris Chitterling, you thought he had it all said and done because that was pure wide for Austin McGill, but he is still putting his foot in, and they're going to go side by side through another set of corners. And down the start straight finish they go. I will get back to that question about how do you get out of the rookies. It's very simple. You have to do 5 races, and we have our own in-class, similar to like an I rating. It's a gauge. It's a bunch of different metrics that gauge. Woof, they're still going side by side. I mean, this is the most interesting battle that's happening, and they just went and collided. And Chris Chitterling has now taken the spot, but he's gone wide, and I think he has it. Brandon Burns trying to take in the coins here. Can he capitalize on these two battling it out? And Austin McGill sends it down the inside line, and they're still battling lap after lap, side by side, and it is not over with these two. And he's gone severely wide. And that might be another off track, but I think Chris Chitterling finally has this one done. No, it is not nipped in the bud just yet. Oh, this is dramatic. Austin McGill, I think, is going to take it back in. He is not making a move now. He's slotting back in. We'll see if this is it. As Brandon Burns... Oh, Chris Chitterling has just gone wide! And then some! Brandon Burns gets overtaken. And there's Joshua D, who's now got Chris Chitterling under pressure. Joshua D making it 3 wide, got it down on the inside, takes it to the outside, and he was through. And now he's putting pressure on Chris Chitterling. This is insanity. Oh my. And they're still side by side into turn 1. How is this going to play out? Joshua D gets it done. He's still holding it on the inside, and he's going to be able to keep it. Chris Chitterling is really feeling the pressure from these drivers here. Brandon Burns is behind. You have Max Miranda, who just slots in and goes ahead of Seth Hansen. But no, Seth Hansen saying, it's not over. I'm going to try to get my spot back. And through he goes and retakes the spot. And good job for Max on that one, that attempt, but just lost back a little bit. Further up the order, we have Ryan Otis, who's leading by 2.9 seconds to Joshua Jablonski, who's sitting in second. Jacob Simmons in third, Jeff Koffold in fourth. And we'll put it back over to this battle that may see an improvement. Anyway, the Pro-Am. So you do 5 races. There's a scoring sheet. There's like there's data analytics that go into it, and basically it kind of determines where you should be lined up in what class. After those 5 races, you can opt into joining the class that you're meant to be in, or you can stay the entire series in the rookie series to battle in that class. Once you lose the rookie uh, class and you get promoted, then your points get negated because you're in the rookie class, because it's a very different scenario. It'd be kind of unfair if you're doing really well in the rookies, go into a next class with that many points. So you would just start at 0 on points in the championship, but you would be able to be in the class that you know you're fighting in, and yeah, it'd be kind of like that. And if you're really good, say if you're Ryan Otis here, who's a rookie, he competes. He's in 499 Racing and competes in the multi-class GTP events. It's GTPs and GT3s on Tuesdays in the 90-minute endurance racing. It's every other week, every other Tuesday, I should say, because it slots in with the on the off week. It doesn't have. They it's the Falcon series, which is LMP3s and GT4s. Both are pretty popular, and Ryan Otis is not technically a rookie by any means. I mean, the guy's got like 6K I rating, but I mean, in the GT3 category, we try to keep this as responsible as it is. So you have drivers that are battling in class, and it matches. Right now, you have Chris Chitterling, who's sitting in 10th, but he's got 3 drivers behind him, all in the Pro-Am class. That means all 4 of these guys are battling it for class, particularly P2. Chris Chitterling is leading them in P2. Jeff Koffel's in 4th, but you can see the accents are different. Purple is for the, the Pro-Ams, the purple Pams. Gold is for, orange, I guess, is for the pro is for the pros. And then your AM class drivers, I find one driver here is Aiden, who looks out of place right now because he is P7, but he's been quick. He's improving, and there's a lot of AM class drivers that will start to, whoa, we have ourselves a little bit of a kerfluffle. Let's take a look at this. It's Joshua Jablonski, Jacob Simmons. Joshua Jablonski just spun it all on his own, and that is unfortunate. Jacob Simmons now down into 6th. Joshua Jablonski in 7th, and Aiden now moved up into 5th with that little spin. I drive GTPs if it's multi-class, but GT3 only I can drive, am I able to drive in all 3 IMSA Falcon in this? You technically could, Frosty. If you wanted to drive in all 3, you could drive in all 3. They're on different days. Sundays is for GT3s, and every other Tuesday, it's an alternating thing. So the drivers that want to be in the Falcon series can register for those Tuesdays, and then on the next Tuesday, it's the IMSA. They call it WEC. They call it it's the Endurance Championship. Is what it's aptly named. The driver who is moving and shaking, Trey Mistak, is now into P26. He started in the pit lane. He's got Jackson Sherlock in front of him. What's this Tuesday? Man, if I only knew. I think it's the Endurance series is this Tuesday. I'm actually almost positive it's this Tuesday. Because last week was the Falcon series, so yeah. And I didn't stream that one. Usually these get streamed. I mean, GT3 always gets streamed. Let's go over to Craig Carroll. He still has Dylan Thomas in his sights. P27, P28 here. 28 that we're looking at. Craig Carroll. It's an AM class driver trying to put the picture on Pro-Am driver of Dylan Thomas. Where are they going? That one I don't know. Everything's on the... little bit of a issue getting the power down on the exit there of turn 5, and Craig Carroll is going to send this 2 wide and gets the spot. Great job to Craig Carroll. He's one of our league owners. Only 2 of them, him and Noah Hoskinson. and a bunch of league admins and everything. Everything's outward. Ooh, got to send down the inside line here for Peter Flanner, who's hit on lap 10. Now 28 positions down. It's unfortunate for this driver. Start of this race was not his forte. On the Discord, each series is in its own classification. So if you went to the I think it's the Endurance Championship, what it's called, or what BWAC, as the name header suggests, and you go to the overall in that section, it tells you basically all the information you need to know about the race that they're going to, and then it also tells you all the tracks that they're at. Moss still trying to make a move here. If I'm not mistaken, though, in the overview, they went to Le Mans. Oh no, they went to Imola, I think. I think it's gonna be Le Mans. I could be wrong about that. I don't think they did Le Mans yet, but if they do Le Mans, it's gonna be in the wet. Drivers still in pace with each other right now at the moment, but nothing crazy. Nobody's been able to make any strides here. I think P16 or sorry, P25 got a 1.6 second gap to Darius Timms, who's up 10. Yep, Trey Mistak, he'll probably be our biggest mover here. Oh no, Zach Peterson. Oh, just lost it all on his own. Let's see if he can make something happen. Richard Swiderski and Charlie Bass battling it out here. Richard on the outside. And it's going to go to Charlie. Retakes one spot from where he qualified, and he's P19. Take a look at some of these crashes. We're on lap 15 of 27. And the first one will be Peter Flanner. And just Chase. Yeah, he lost that all on his own. Craig Reese. Yeah, you could see him losing it as he was exiting and tried to correct it and didn't. Kyle Curtis. Netcode. That is pure netcode. You could see that they just made a netcode thing, and that was to Jackson Shalak. So Kyle Curtis and Jackson Shalak came together there. Matt Benson gets hit by Peter Flanner there. Dylan Thomas. Kind of spins it. I think a little bit of contact, but I think that was still mostly a spin on his own. Kyle Strauss will spin on his own off the racing line. Thanks for that. Kurt Moss. Oh, another one. That was the draft punk we saw earlier. Forrest Holland here. It's tagged. A little bit of a spin. And that's just unfortunate. Kyle Curtis again. And that's just going to be his own self-inflicted spin. Kyle Strauss on lap 10. Another spin. Tom Smith. The Mustangs are not doing well here at this track. Another spin. This was the spin for Joshua Jablonski and the Aston Martin. And the Lambo of Jacob Simmons, who just gets caught in that. Then Dylan Thomas had his own spin. Not that bad. It's kind of a big hit, though. Kind of a big hit. Kyle Curtis. And it's a rough one on exit. Too much power too quick, maybe. Craig Carroll. suffered a similar fate. Spun it on exit. At turn 6 will catch people out. That was lap 14. And that was a big one for Zach Peterson. Jake Daly on lap 15 suffers a decent hit, but the Mercedes is kind of a tank. He might be able to walk away from that one. We'll see if that's all good. And then Nolan Todd just missed it. Well, I thought this wasn't going to really be something that might happen, but because that battle with Chris Chitterling was going on so long, we're looking at Austin McGill. He's got a black flag. He's going into the pits as well. This is not going to be ideal for him. That scenario of leading the pros is going to shift. Hats off right now to, we're still back live. Where's his rival? Gage Hines is going to be the biggest winner of this grouping. He's third in the championship, but with Austin McGill and Peter Flanner both at the back of the field, this is only going to benefit. Peter Flanner's 29th at the moment. He might gain a couple, 27, 25, 24. Okay, he's up 23. That's a big one for him. Austin McGill is still in the pits, and he has got a black flag that he's also to serve on top of pitting. He's going to drop down further in the order than he already is right now. Gage Hines, like I said, who's third in the championship. He's fourth on the grid. He's second in class because you got to remember Ryan Otis is out there, but Ryan Otis went into the pits. Jeff is going to also go into the pits. And so does John Javecki. So they're all going to follow in suit. So this isn't too rough for any of them in the top. So it's all working out pretty well. Chris Chitterling, is he going to stay out or is he going to pop in? He goes in, and that was very close. Brandon Burns just behind. Brandon Burns, Chris Chitterling battling it out right now? No, they were, though. Maybe if they might have been battling prior to the pit stop, but they'll go in. Rodrigo Theory. I'm not sure if this is the first time ever, but for maybe the first time ever leading a race. He hasn't pit, but he's out there. And this Pro-Am driver, welcome back. He's only done one race, and that was round 4. He's in it. Ray Mistak is in the pits as well. Aiden is back out in P8. He's the leading class, AM class driver. On exit, it looks like there's a bit of a buffer for Brandon Burns and Chris Chitterling. Connor, you should have seen it earlier, though. Chris Chitterling has been having, if he's had a battle with Brandon Burns, I mean, he had just a knife fight with Austin McGill earlier in the race. I mean, those guys were going 3 or 4 laps, just corner after corner, still sticking it in and keeping it too wide. It was quite the measure to look at. And we have some drivers popping out. It looks like Joshua Justice has Dylan Thomas there on the exit. Matt Benson has a black flag. This might be just a... wonder if he's going to be pitting as well. He did pit 7 laps ago. This might just be a full black flag for him served. Yeah, he's just going to clear that. Now, mind you, it's 15 incident points. So, because they kept going too wide, and there was times where both drivers were off track quite a number of times, I should say, with Chris Chitterling and Austin McGill. The black flag was going to come at some point. I think it's going to be close for Chris Chitterling. Rodrigo Theory is in. Ryan Otis retakes P1. What happened to Joshua? My dad just passed him and said he slowed a ton. Joshua Justice. It could have been a slowdown. Oh. And that's Zach Peterson and Jackson Sherlock. It didn't even register that as an incident. Oh, there it goes. Let's take a look here at the chopper. Dives to the inside. Ooh, Zach Peterson. I think that one's kind of on him. Kind of bumped him there. Brandon Burns. He's doing pretty good. He's in P9 right now. Joshua Justice, though, what happened to him? He probably just had a slowdown penalty because, I mean, he's still doing fairly well. That was a couple laps ago. And it didn't show that he actually intentionally went slow, so... Zach Peterson, maybe? Ooh. Well, that's what happened to him. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't paying attention to this at all. Whatever's just when Josh was spun, I was looking at the timing sheet to look and see what this, what his... I mean, now we know what happened. Not that time, but either slow down for a corner, and then now he just spun. Jacob Simmons, however, jumped. I don't know if he jumped him. Oh, he was ahead of Gage. They all pit at the same time, so yeah, Gage was behind. Wait, let's see. No, Gage was behind. I have to think about this one. Jacob Simmons recovered, is what I should say, because Gage Hines was ahead. He was P2 in class, and if you really think about it, Brandon Burns getting ever so close to Chris Cheerling. Jeff is ahead of John Javecki. Jeff was actually behind the pros during the pit stop. Did a 42.7, a bit lower than John Javecki. But I mean, Jacob Simmons did a 41.9, so difference in pit strategy for sure. But Jeff is now second overall, first in class. Now we have, I mean, this is the coolest thing about like the rookies right now, is that we have P1, 2, and 3 are all leaders in class. The next leader in the AM class is in P7. You have the rookie in first, the Pro-Am in second, and the Pro in third. That is quite the spectacle. And they're all in the top 10. It was quite unique to see a top 15 out of all the leaders. But to see a top 10, and it be a legitimate top 10, no issues there. Like any crashes or anything. Oh man, let's take a look here. Kyle Strauss, another spin for him at the top of turn 5. Marshall Scary behind Seth Hansen in spins as well. Joshua Justice. Did he actually come together? Oh, I wasn't really paying attention. He got hit. That was another spin here for Kyle Strauss. Add him to our collection, yeah. But this was a full-on collision as well. Unfortunate. And yeah. Take a look here at John Javecki, who's still trying to get Jeff Koffold here. 4/10 gap. Austin McGill towed it to the pits. That is all said and done. Joshua Jablonski has H. Hines in his sights. So it'd be good for Jablonski. He's behind Gage in the standings. This is P3 and 4 in the standings. Joshua Jablonski down the inside. Can he overtake H. Hines before turn 4? I'd say so. And through goes Joshua Jablonski. Kurt Moss and Charlie Bass taking widely different. Yeah, that one's strange. Charlie just let Kurt Moss by, and I'm not sure if he's gonna end up doing that with Trey Mistak, who's also in class. Also, not in class, but the overall, this is significant. The P20 for Trey Mistak here. Where's that? Rough. You don't want to be kicked while you're down, but Kyle Curtis has just received a black flag, and so has Kyle Strauss. Both the Kyles not doing so hot with the track limits, I think. Austin McGill did toe to pits. Effectively out of this race. Jacob Simmons, with 5 laps to go, is trying to make a move. This is for the pro class win. John Javecki's technically leading for the moment, even though he's in... Well, he was in 3rd, and now he's in 4th. Jacob Simmons making that look a little easy, but it wasn't. That's 2 really quick drivers of high talent, and the Lambo just has it down, I think. Jake Daly also gets a black flag. Quite unfortunate. And we'll get over to the what it looks like right now. Talk about the each class. Jacob Simmons, who's in 3rd. He's 1st in class. John Javecki behind him in 4th. And the overall is 2nd in class. Joshua Jablonski is just behind in 5th in the overall. 3rd in class. And Gage Heinth is 4th in class. I won't just do the top 3, but he's right there. And it's P3 through 6, all pros. And followed by the Pro-Am class. In P2 in the overall is Jeff Koffold. P8 is P1 in class. P8 is Chris Chitterling, who's P2 in Pro-Am class. And Brandon Burns is right behind him. He is P9, and he is P3 in class for the Pro-Ams. Followed by Aiden Gwurtz, who's just ahead of them. P7 for the AM class driver of Aiden Gwurtz, and he's the leader. 1st in class with Seth Hansen in P13, 2nd in class. And Adam Tingle, who's in P17, 3rd in the AM class. Jake Daly, who's just behind him, 4th, has to serve a black flag, so he will lose out a lot of positions to other AM class drivers around him that will be getting that pass on. Trey Mistak down the start straight finish. He's going to be able to get through on Kurt Moss. I think they're going to take this too wide for a couple more corners. Both in the Aston Martins. And the Alonso-themed livery moves on through into P18. 23 positions gained. Hey, look at that. Brandon Burns got past Chris Chitterling. He goes to 2nd in class. Let's take a look at that. That couldn't have been that far away. Maybe it was. I mean, I can't find this anywhere. This had to have happened somewhat relatively soon. 3 laps to go. There it is. Found it. Here's a replay of Brandon Burns passing Chris Chitterling for P8. Gets him into turn 6. Nice calculated move. But it doesn't end there. On the outside into 8, but keeps it ahead for 9. And yeah, that kind of solidified it right there. Jake Daly exiting the pits here. Oof. Three laps to go. A lot of these positions will probably be kind of cemented as where they're at. Bit of a difference in terms of interval for some of these drivers. Sure, you can tell a little bit. But not for our top 14, I should say. And look at that. Peter Flanders now down only 8 positions from where he started. Now catching up to Seth Hansen. Not a bad result for him. Still optimal for Gage Heinz, however. Peter Flanders is going to be 5th in class. He's not going to be even close to getting near one of the next pros, but overall position still matters here. Brief look at our leader of Ryan Otis, who's up 8.9 seconds. Jeff Koffold. Jeff, who's got a 3/10 separation here. And John Javecki's also in the kind of in the mix. He's 1.2 seconds back, but Jacob Simmons is the one to worry about. He's right behind him in that Lambo. And this could go down to the wire across the line. This fight is still really on. So is Gage Heinz, who's just behind and is trying to get the spot back from Joshua Jablonski. This would be for P3 in class. 5 in the overall. The official group. Jacob Simmons and Gage Heinz, or sorry, Jeff Koffold are going side by side. Sorry, Gage, sister teammate. And it still goes to, oh, it's going to switch back here to Jacob Simmons taking that spot from Jeff. Now Jeff going back 1. You have to apply through the official group. How do I do that? When you join the Discord, it should give you instructions on how to apply, or how to like set your roles, what roles you want. Like, you want to be part of the GT3 series, all the different series that are out there. These two might go side by side on turn 1. Nope, it's not on. Joshua Jablonski did get passed by Gage Heinz, however. I think through the website, because maybe that's what they're implying, is you have to go, if you click on the Brooklyn Wing Racing League website, there's information there on how you apply. Oh yeah, that part is easy, but once you're on the Discord, you should be able to see how all the other stuff is relative to applying. It's been so long since I've had to apply, but if you're in the Discord, just ping somebody. You should be able to ping somebody and ask Gareth Ham, the guy who sets everything up. So you might be able to ping him and ask him for further instructions if it's not that easy. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've had to apply, but I think, oh, Aiden Gwertz getting passed here by Joshua Jablonski, P6. And that one is said and done for Ryan Otis, who finishes 1st in the rookie class. 1st overall, Jacob Simmons in 2nd, Jeff in 3rd, John Javecki in 4th, Gage Heinz in 5th, Joshua Jablonski across the line. Can he finish in 6th? It might be possible. Yes, it is. He finishes 6th, Aiden Gwertz in 7th, Brandon Burns in 8th, Chris Chitterling in 9th, Joshua D in 10, Rodrigo Theory in 11, Braden Daniels 12, Peter Flanner 13, Seth Hansen 14, Max Miranda in 15. Marshall Scary close to the line. He is in 16. Adam Tingle gonna finish in 17 here. Trey Misek in 18. Kurt Moss in 19. Charlie Bass in 20. Richard Swedeski in 21. Tyler Kern in 22. Felipe B. Nunez, a little bit further to go, and he's got Kyle Kurtz behind him, actually. Matt Benson, actually, we'll just keep this in order. Felipe Nunez in 23, Jackson Sherlock in 24, Andrew Frank 25, Craig Carroll 26, Darius Timms 27. Then you have Joshua Justice 28, Thomas Smith 29, Nolan Todd in 30, Matt Benson 31, Forrest Holland 32, Dylan Thomas 33, Steve McAllister 34, Kyle Curtis 35, Craig Reese 36, Eric Kunzman 37, Kyle Strauss across the line in 38, Jake Daly 39, Zach Peterson 40, Austin McGill 41, and 42 is Stuart Lucio. I'm gonna pull these guys in. We'll start with Jeff here. You finished third. Oh, wait. Sorry. For everyone else, they didn't notice that I was mute. Congratulations, Jeff. You finished third in the overall, first in class. It's got to feel pretty good. You had a big margin to your rivals there. Brandon Burns was in eighth. How was it at the end there? You know, you're battling out with Jacob Simmons. Were you trying to be extremely racy with him, or were you giving it a little bit of some breather to him?
No, I was racing him for everything I had. He made an amazing pass on me, so that was some really tight, nice racing I had with him. So no, kudos to him for making up that gap and making that pass on me.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was great racing, great side by side action, and yeah, Jacob did get pie on that final attempt there, and you know you were able to stay off John Javecki. I'm not sure if it wouldn't one more lap would you have been able to say fuel not an issue here. Do you think you would have been able to still off John Javecki there?
I think so. He was really close and he had a couple opportunities, but I think we were just about even in pace where I don't think either one of us could have passed the other person, but it was definitely close and tight between us, both of us.
Well, I mean, yeah, you started off pretty well in hand. I mean, it must have been your pit stop, I think, which gave you that significant edge to jump all those drivers. Yeah, I think you pit at the same time as him. So what was that gain? Because you were behind all of the pros, and then you jumped all of them and went into P2. So what was it really? Did you pit on the same time as them, or did you have a slightly quicker pit stop?
No, I think it was the lap before Jacob and Joshua Jablonski got into each other when they made contact.
Oh,
That put me into P2.
I see. That definitely will do it. Well, thank you, Jeff, for joining me. Appreciate you joining me. Significant gains in the Pro M class, and I can't wait to see if that somehow promotes you or not promotes you. But you're pretty much showing that you're in the pros, and congratulations, man! Great win and great P3 in the overall.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Jacob, congratulations, P2, also P1 in class. That's got to feel pretty good. You're able to pass Jeff there at the end, and as you probably heard, great side by side racing. It looked like you and Jablonski were also having a bit of a fun, a good time there towards the beginning of the race. But that slow up, was that? I know it was a self inflicted spin there for Joshua Jablonski, but was that? Did you think you could claw it back? You did claw it back, but like after that, like how'd you feel having dropped back to like P6? I think it was.
Yeah, it was pretty frustrating. I feel like we had good pace, and he just spun right in front of me coming out of the hairpin and was just stuck sideways, so I had nowhere to go. But yeah, it was like I was pretty locked in there after the pit stop and made up a couple of positions, and yeah, it was a good race. Jeff put up a really good fight there at the end. Yeah, dude, I was watching my back the whole time. Jablonski was coming up quick too. If we didn't get through some of those lap cars, I think he probably would have passed me. So, but yeah, stoked on getting first after a couple of pretty terrible results over the last couple of races. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
fun
mean,
race.
It's been a fantastic race. I think that's going to change the margins that go into the in the rankings. Like terrible what happened to Peter there, terrible what happened to Austin
Yeah.
McGill. But those two being P1 and 2 in the championship, that's going to drop their points significantly. And now that you and Gage and Jablonski finish strong, that might change up the entire section of what's happening up in the top 5, I should say. But not only
Yeah.
that, but I mean, these type of things happen. I mean, congratulations again, and man, what a fantastic result there! Being able to get by Jeff, that was really one of the highlights I was able to see towards the end.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was a fun battle. Like he was making me push really hard towards the end. So
Well,
glad I got it done. But
congratulations, and thanks for joining me,
thanks,
man.
man. Yeah, of course.
Yep, see you soon. Ryan Otis, I don't know if you are muted. But congratulations, Ryan Otis, the rookie that not really a rookie, but from a different series. But congratulations, that was calculated. I mean, like it was a 9-second gap to the win. I mean, it didn't even seem like you're sweating. Saw you a couple times, but how was traffic? Was that a something that you had to really contend with, or is it slowing you down at any point, or were you just kind of coasting at one point?
No, I mean I wasn't coasting. I was definitely keeping the car on its toes. No, traffic was actually not really a problem at all. I only caught a few folks, and they were super courteous and kind of let me by pretty easy without racing me or making anything difficult. And then I caught a couple of guys there at the end, and they were in a battle, and I saw I had, I don't know, 8 or 9 seconds or something, so I just kind of backed off and let them fight for the last lap and a half, and got a nice little show out of that. But other than that, no, I was pretty much pushing the whole time.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. I mean, fantastic result. I mean, at least you're showing like hey, you showed a little bit of restraint there by like letting those guys have their little battle and finishing as where you did. That's really an achievement. My only question really is, are you going to switch into the pros once that this is round 5? You can do it if you want. I'm not sure if that's your goal or you just want to sit and dominate in the rookie class.
No, no, I'll switch to pro. I guess I didn't really understand how the classes worked, and for the very first race in the series, I had like the pro overlay on my paint because I was like, well, I guess with my I rating, I should probably be a pro.
Yeah,
But then I was told, no, I'm a rookie. So I was like, all right, well, that's fine. I can be a rookie.
I mean,
Obviously, I'm not a rookie at iRacing, so
obviously, yeah. Obviously that I mean there's a couple of jabs there, but like I say that it is still impressive. All the top 5 sorry, top 10 all leaders in class were in the top 10, which is kind of cool to see. So thanks for joining me, man. And again, what a great race for you. That was really really awesome to see.
yeah, yeah, sure. Thanks, guys.
Mhm. Aiden, congratulations. P7, but P1 in the overall. I mean, your nearest rival there, I think, was gosh, I think it was Seth Hansen who was in P14, a full, 7 back. So how does it feel? You were able to keep it ahead of some significant drivers. Like I think you lost out 2 towards the start, but then or lost 1 maybe and regained it, and then you kind of just held the pattern. Like everything else was happening around you, but you held your pattern and you ended up doing fairly well.
Yeah, it was great to break the poor performance streak. I've been struggling getting that pace up, so this is a good change. And yeah, that first part, I was just focused on following Gage. I think it was just trying to create that gap in between me and everyone behind me.
Yeah, and not only that gap that was behind you, but it seemed like you're like despite being in an AM class, like I was saying, even in the AM class, you have guys that are at the front, middle, and back of the pack, all fighting it out there. But you showed strong racecraft, defensive maneuvers towards the beginning, and able to take back 1 spot that you lost, and you really just kept it together. That was extremely impressive, and yeah, I think I hope to see you keep doing that because I mean you keep showing up in the top 15 these races, and I think that's going to show that the improvement where you have maybe going to the pro ams next season.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I can keep it up and get into pro-ams. But yeah, it was a good race. Happy with my result.
Well, yeah, I was happy with your result too. I mean, P7 out of the AIM class driver, you had a lot of pros behind you, a lot of pro-ams behind you, and you kept them at bay. So, and you kept the pace. Thanks for joining me, man, and congratulations again for finishing P1 in class.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you for joining me, and for all the people that had questions about stuff in the when you get here. I think there's a whole like yeah, there's some stuff that is out there on our website, and as well as when you join the actual Discord, you should be able to interact with some people. Gareth Ham is one of the guys that kind of helps situate the invites and everything. So if you want to join the league, you can always find the official the league Broken Wing Racing League on iRacing and apply to join it. And then as long as you're on the Discord, you can say which series you want to enter in and get the roles for those, so you can see chat like things opening up in chat. That said, thank you all for joining me, and have a good evening.